But the size, when I came to boxing gym and my coach told me that one of the rules it's like respect the weight classes. You should respect weight classes. But he has a very good skill. He's one of my favorite fighters, active fighters.
That's not easy for Crawford. I mean, it's Canelo has the big advantage, but Crawford needs to manage well his body, his speed, and his power, because he's moving up to another level of weight.
I asked this because
Canelo Alvarez, who once seemed unbreakable at 168 pounds, is now up against a version of Terence Crawford molded by the guy who broke him after training with Crawford. Bivol has disclosed Crawford's plan to put Canelo to sleep. Val has made it apparent that adaptation, not simply strength, is the key. Crawford isn't going into this fight expecting to outmuscle Canelo. Rather, he's getting ready to absorb Canelo's energy at 168 and turn it against him.
I feel I got the speed over Canelo. I got the reach over him. He might got the size, the power. I got the better skills, boxing skills.
would it be more of a cat and mouse? The reality is Canelo does put people out, from Kirkland to Amir Khan to just...
It all begins with mental preparedness, Bivol said, warning that without the proper psychological conditioning, fighters become weak under pressure. This wasn't just general advice. It was a jab at Canelo's recent success by relying on his opponents to mentally fold. But Crawford doesn't. In fact, he thrives in chaos. For this reason, Bivol is certain that with the right training, Crawford will not only absorb Canelo's power, but also find ways to mentally exhaust him by changing pace and being unpredictable.
I'm not going in there looking to knock Canelo out. Could it happen? Yes, absolutely. When I look at Canelo, he's a smaller, bigger guy moving up in divisions. Being that these big guys is slower, so they might catch him with something, but he might see it at the last moment.
Canelo's recent performances are narrative in and of itself. He dominated Charlo because he appeared to be a fighter who didn't belong in the ring with him, Callum, rather than because he was incredibly skilled. Smith experienced a similar fate. Val is unimpressed and views those victories as evidence of Canelo's divisional weakness rather than his strength. He claims that Crawford is unique since Crawford has never lost his mind in combat. When Bivol calls Canelo inconsistent, he is challenging the very notion of Canelo's greatness. And now he is arming Crawford with the knowledge necessary to destroy that myth once more.
On the streets, you and Canelo, what would it look like?
Come on, man. Y'all know what I do. I ain't got to talk about it. On the streets, I'm going to be against anybody. I ain't never going to say another man going to whoop me. So, that's your answer right there.
I guess in Guadalajara, you think it'd be a little different on the streets if Terence came to town?
I think every city, every place is different, no? It's different. But we're not talking about the streets. We're talking about boxing.
For his part, Crawford has embraced the notion that being the underdog could be the most dangerous aspect for Canelo. He isn't acting as though he is inherently large for the division or that Canelo hasn't faced stronger opponents. Rather, he is arguing that power is timing and that, unlike Val, he is attempting to lure, irritate, and ultimately harm Canelo. With Bivol on his side, Crawford's past demonstrates that he adjusts mid-fight and doesn't just throw volume mindlessly. He watches, lays traps, and then detonates them against Canelo, suggesting that strategy may be more important than strength or size. Crawford is not acting impulsively. The last man is giving him precise strategies to make Canelo appear unremarkable.
The only running that I'm going to be doing is running upside his head, and I can assure you that. Facts. And he got a big head, too.
When Crawford said, "He's got to take my punches too," it wasn't a meaningless threat. Rather, it served as a reminder that Canelo is facing someone who doesn't fear getting hit and who thinks he hits just as hard when it counts. Crawford has been clear that he knows he'll take some shots and that he knows Canelo won't crumble with the first clean hit, but Crawford isn't planning to knock him cold with one punch. Rather, he's going to break him down. Despite not being a well-known knockout fighter at heavier weights, Crawford is accurate and brutal in his finishing. What he lacks in sheer physicality, he makes up for in timing and malice. And he hasn't encountered a mean technician in years.
If the ring is standard size, I think Bud beats his ass all around the ring for 12 rounds. If Canelo want to come forward and get the whooping, that's what he gonna get. But that's the thing. In that last Skull fight, he didn't want to take the fight to Skull. So if Canelo don't come to fight, I don't want to see Crawford stand in the middle of the ring and take that type of risk. Because Crawford, you talk about retirement, but he can still go on after this. So he ain't got to take that punishment. He can run it back with him. I don't want Crawford forced into a dog fight with Canelo. No, I think he gonna whoop his ass off 12 rounds.